The great story here, for anybody willing to find it and write about it and explain it, is this vast right-wing conspiracy that has been conspiring against my husband since the day he announced for president.
It's fascinating to watch, right? That, of course, was Hillary Clinton back in 1998, claiming that there was a vast right-wing conspiracy against her husband, President Bill Clinton. And now we know in part why she said that. As part of a new document dump by the Clinton Presidential Library, 28 pages of internal memos were released. They outlined what the administration called the communication stream of conspiracy commerce. And one of those suspected in feeding the stream, David Bossie. He's the former chief investigator for the House Oversight Committee during the Clinton presidency. He's also the president of Citizens United, which made a very negative movie about Hillary Clinton. David, confirm or deny?
Oh, you got me. Oh, got me. Shock. There's gambling going on here. Look, you know, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, they haven't changed a bit. They do document dumps on Friday nights of holiday weekends. We've been seeing this for 20 years. You know, I'm not surprised my name is in those documents from the early and mid-'90s. It doesn't surprise me at all.
They don't like you. They seem to think that you are fueling information that is negative about them into the media and also receiving information. I'll just throw one quote on the board just so our viewers can see what we're talking about. Here's the first one here. They say, from Brown to other mainstream media. Okay, Floyd Brown and his associate, David Bossie, claim that dozens of members of the mainstream press, including Time and Money magazines, NBC and the London Times, have used them for information or interviews. They're suggesting that you guys were claiming these mainstream publications were coming to you for dirt on the Clintons, and you were only too happy to provide it.
Well, they are right, because Floyd Brown and I were the vast right-wing conspiracy at the beginning of the Clinton administration. There was no one else who was working on this case. I spent months working down in Arkansas and covering these issues about the Rose Law Firm and other the Whitewater land deal and all the rest. But listen, you know, the Clintons haven't changed. What these folks stand for, you know, we still need to educate the American people. It's why I made a film that ended up going to the Supreme Court called Hillary the Movie in 2007 to educate the American people about just who Hillary Clinton is. And that's when you read the excerpts, and it's clear there's bad blood between you and Hillary. Our viewers know you're not a Hillary fan. That's been made clear. But when you read the papers, they seem to suggest that she was very concerned. She believed very much that there was a vast right-wing conspiracy. Those weren't just words on the Today Show. She believed that because she talked about how she believed how people would put out information to this internet thing, and that the internet then would legitimize stories by fanning it out to other publications like the Washington Times. She cited the New York Post. She cited, and that would somehow legitimize these stories that she thought shouldn't have been legitimized. Right. But what her problem is, her fundamental facts are incorrect. And I believe she used this as a propaganda technique to try to gain sympathy. However, what her problem was is that Jeff Gerth with the New York Times, Sue Schmidt with the Washington Post, Chris Vlasto and Jackie Judd, Lisa Myers at ABC and NBC, those were the members of the vast right-wing conspiracy. True investigative journalists. Mike Isikoff, Mark Rosenbaum, the men and women who were true investigative journalists back in the 90s. I wish we had them back today to conduct investigations into the current administration. But those men and women stood tall, and they ended up winning Pulitzer Prizes and ended up winning Edward R. Murrow Awards for their investigative journalism.
I mean, so your point is well taken, because part of the vast right-wing conspiracy she was concerned about were the sexual accusations against President Clinton made by Jennifer Flowers and others. And as we know, you know. Well,
those were uncovered during our investigations in the early 90s. Well, no, because L.D. Brown and other Arkansas state troopers, they have a problem because it's always with reliable sources. It was the police officers, the men and women of the Secret Service who were their biggest
Well, listen, I mean, whenever you're going to run for president, there's going to be a bunch of people who want to tear you down, and some media circles that circle around you or against you. But listen, were you interested to see how much they disliked Don Imus?
Well, look, they disliked a lot of people who had microphones. And this internet thing, which clearly 20 years later, is a big problem for a Hillary Clinton, because they didn't have to deal with the social media. It's long before even the Drudge Report even existed, but it was long before Facebook.
So mean to Imus. So mean, in fact, that I'm wondering whether it's tongue-in-cheek and they actually loved him secretly. I guess the Imus will tell us whether that is true on Imus in the Morning on FBN tomorrow. Great to see you, David.
Thank you so much.